I want to get to these early. Question to you gents on the panel. Because empathy is important in relationships, which gender do you think is naturally more empathetic and why?
Okay, so I've heard different arguments here that women are more sympathic and then men are more empathetic.
Thank you.
I think that makes a little bit more difference.
Big difference in those two terms.
Because one of the problems is like there are things that I can't be empathetic for, or I can try to be empathetic for a woman. Like I don't go through menstruation. I've never had a child. Like there's things I understand, but I still understand it's a very painful process for them. I do think I don't know the best way to answer this, but that seems probably the most accurate to me. What do you think, Raul?
Well, I've written quite extensively on this, which is why you're probably asking me this question. No, there's a difference. There's a fundamental difference between sympathy and empathy. So sympathy, I can be sympathetic to somebody like you broke a bone or something, like you broke your arm or something like that. But unless I have broken that same arm in the same place, I can't empathize with you because I don't know exactly how it feels. So that's the difference between sympathy and empathy. I can say, oh, hell, let me help you out, let me whatever. But I can't empathize with that person unless I've had a shared experience with that person. If you look this up in the dictionary, that is what it says. Okay, so there's a qualifiable difference between those two. So who's more sympathetic and who's more empathetic? Well, I think the thing about empathy is once you take it out of the framework of like women have some sort of supernatural ability for empathy, it's like, no, they don't. Not any more than I do or he does or anybody else does, because unless I have shared that experience, then I can't really be truly empathetic, but I can be sympathetic. So are women more sympathetic than men are? I think it all depends on the context. So by
those definitions, I would say then majority of women, I would say, are more sympathetic. Yeah. They would feel for other people's feelings more.
I think it's a good half and half, to be honest. I think just how it comes out. Men are fixers naturally. So it comes out as not empathetic or not sympathetic to the woman. And even though that's not how they mean it to come out, that's how it comes out, how it's perceived by the woman. But that does not mean that they are not sympathetic or empathetic.
Because we can feel pain for someone else.
They come up with solutions, and sometimes I don't want a solution. I just want to rant. And they're like, we'll do this. And I'm like, why are you telling me how I can fix my life? I don't want that.
So it's not about the nail.
But so we just want to feel our feels. Whereas guys, they want you to feel better,
be good.
And that doesn't mean they're less sympathetic or less empathetic. It's just they're just trying to fix it. That's what guys
their solution is different, and
like
their reaction to it is different.
And so that doesn't mean they're less sympathetic.
And there's times I'll be like on TikTok and I'll see something and I'm just like, it hurts my soul to see someone through pain. Even though I've never gone through that, but I'm like, I can see it and I can feel it, and I can feel how they're feeling.
Right, but also guys are the same way. But if you go to societal standards and how they're raised, especially in different generations, they're taught not to feel. So they may feel it on the inside, but they may not project it.
So I think just a little bit more nuance. It's not that they're not taught to feel; they're taught not to express quite to the same way.
Feel it,
but the thing is, it actually is the way things are supposed. I know this is going to be
it's balance of nature.
Well, it is a balance of nature. It's just when the guy shows up, when there's a burglar at my house, I don't need the cop to come up crying, telling me about how his day was. Right. I need him to solve the problem. I don't need my plumber to come. Like, again, if I had a plumber who came to me every time and he was just having a panic attack, I would not hire that plumber anymore. It's just for men, we have to be stoic in order for society to move forward. It doesn't mean we don't feel these things. And there's nothing wrong if you're a guy right there, you've lost an animal, you had to put an animal down, or you lost a family member and you want to cry. That's fine. My point is, it's the way men are taught that they are defective women and they need to be more expressive. So on the first date, I need to just be like, I'm super attracted to you. Oh my God, I think we have great energy. Like, no, bro, chill out. Like it's so crazy to me. It's like, no, you don't need to be this vulnerable and expressive. If you need to be vulnerable and expressive, find a group of men that you trust and be vulnerable and expressive with them, not the girl you go on the first date with. And certainly not the stripper or the girl. Dude, I talk to strippers all the time and they're like, guys are just telling me all their problems. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
It comes off as very like feminine energy.
Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm very like independent and kind of like a little bit aggressive. So like I need a man who's like can share his problems, but not like, I feel like I agree they need like a group of men to also talk about those feelings, because especially first date, I'm like, this man is
no
going
trauma
through
dumping.
Yeah, no trauma dumping, please
For the women as well, no trauma
dumping. Women as well.
So Abby, you go on a date with a guy and he tells you his last 3 exes cheated on him. What do you say? He's being expressive. He's expressing his vulnerability. What do you think?
Yeah, but there's also a common underlying factor there.
Do you think he's really good in bed? His last 3 exes on him. What do you think? What do you think? I'm asking you because we're being expressive here.
If you're adding that nuance, it depends on the equation. What are you adding to the equation? If you're adding
got it.
part,
Yeah.
Probably not.
Oh, that's crazy. Isn't it wild? But I'm more expressive. Because that's what they told me to be. But my therapist told me to be more expressive. So let me talk about my problems.
They may not be expressive in the way that a woman needs. And so it's like, okay, if you take the factor of good and bad or not, it's just like, okay, your past 3 girls have cheated on you. Maybe you have mommy issues. You're searching out the wrong girl. And also, like, what are you not fulfilling for them?
Sure.
So there's an underlying factor. Granted, the girl is just as wrong for cheating. Cheating, I never condone. It is wrong on all sorts.
Right. Yeah.
There is an underlying factor of it's happened multiple times. What is the man not doing right?
Right. My point is, it's not helpful on a first date for him to. He shouldn't even be bringing that shit up.
Yeah.
That's my point.
No.
Well, I think also for like as a woman's stance, not having to do anything about the men at all. But like if a woman has had something that's gone, like if they've been alone for a very long time, like they don't have parents or, they're not close with any of their family and they've had to be in survival mode for a very long time. I feel like me personally, because that's me, I can't shut down. So I can't be vulnerable. Like I can't
you're in your masculine energy.
Yes. Yeah. And with that, it means that I can't take on other people's BS either because, I can't.
The thing with relationships,
I can't have empathy with that.
It's all kind of like a scientific experiment. At the end of the day, you have multiple variables, some that are controlled, some that are nature. Sure. There's so many things. It's an equation. They're all not the same. They're all different. Every nuance that you add changes the entire thing. So one size does not fit all.
That's why when people cry in front of me, I can't cry in front of people. That's one thing about me. I cannot do it. But also when someone cries in front of me, I don't know how to handle that because I've been alone for so long,
like, high five.
Yeah. I'm just like, there. Are you doing okay? I'm sorry. I can listen to your problems, but then I become like the man in the situation and I'm like, let me fix it. But they just don't want to be fixed either. And it's like, I feel like I'm becoming like more masculine energy in that because I've been in survival mode for so long and I, don't really take on men. I'm not one to jump from one relationship to another and let a man take on my problems. I'm just not like that.
One of my favorites
I was gonna. Okay. So I just wanted to touch back to like what Rolo mentioned about empathy and like sympathy. So empathy, like totally on point. Like you have to have been in a similar situation in order to empathize with someone. But so I've actually looked into this. Women are more sympathetic than men because of the way that like we evolved. Women would raise each other's children together. So we had to have more sympathy for everybody else around us, where men are not as sympathetic. They care about like their inner circle, what's theirs and what they need to protect. Women are going to cast their net out much further and actually care more
like community
on a deeper, about community versus like interior family.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to bring up like the point of you talking about being in masculine energy. One of my girlfriends, she always says, what is a man going to bring to my table? I already she just got nominated for a James Beard, one of the top sommeliers in the entire world. She makes her money. She gets her bag. She has everything stable for her and she has her entire platform and foundation. She's not going to put up with the just basic boohoo that most women would because she has all of this already going for her. And I think all of us women are that to a certain level. What do we already have established and what are we willing to put up with? And what are we willing to also stand our ground and be like, no.